Right now at 6 o'clock, President Trump wrapped up his speech to Fort Bragg in the last 40 minutes. He spoke in front of thousands of troops and their families. This is during the Army's 250th birthday celebration on post. Some news coming out of that event. The president said he is restoring the names of at least 7 more Army posts. He announced $1 trillion going to the armed forces. He also addressed the protests in Los Angeles, applauding the troops, ICE agents, and LA police officers. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Lena Tillett. Take a look at this video here. This is some of the video coming out of the military demonstrations that took over the skies today. You see it here. President Trump here in the middle observing it all. Paratroopers jumping from planes, troops descending from military aircraft in a dynamic show of military force. We have live team coverage of this major event playing out at the nation's largest Army installation, Fort Bragg. Let's begin with WRAL Sean Gallagher joining us live on post. Sean?
Yeah, Lena, the celebration here cleaning up right behind me, as you can see, after the president spoke for nearly an hour, heaping praise on the Army during its 250th birthday celebration, also pumping his big, beautiful bill and the impact it will have on the armed forces, adding $1 trillion across all branches, and also having upgrades on post to housing and more. Now, before his speech, President Trump witnessed that dynamic show of force, artillery firings, a simulated operation with soldiers descending on a building, and also a massive paratrooper drop. More than 600 jumped from 11 airplanes, showing the rapid response the U.S. Army is capable of. And with this visit to Fort Bragg, which was renamed recently after being called Fort Liberty for a short period of time, Trump made it clear that maintaining the history of this post was important, and he plans to do the same elsewhere.
We are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee.
And in addition to celebrating Fort Bragg and the military as a whole, President Trump spent a long time talking about the violent protests going on in Los Angeles, protests that have become destructive.
But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag. They only burn it. Did you see a lot of the flags being burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing. 1 year. And we'll see if we can get that done.
Now, the president has faced criticism for the costs of not just this dynamic show of force, but also a parade that's scheduled for the military in Washington, D.C. this weekend, a parade that's estimated to cost some $45 million. In Fort Bragg, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Thanks very much, Sean. Brian Schrader here in the WRAL Live Center. That's President Trump at that readiness demonstration earlier this afternoon, where he saw some of the power of the U.S. Army. It was after that he made that speech to the crowd at Fort Bragg. And here is how he closed his remarks. He hearkened back to a phrase that emerged after he was nearly assassinated during a campaign stop last year.
You will do something that's become quite a famous little phrase also. But you're a hell of a lot braver than me. You will fight, 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 and you will win, win, win. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army. Thank you very much.
And Sean Gallagher reports that Marine One took off about 15 minutes ago.
Thank you, Brian. And also today, North Carolina Democrats, veterans, and military families spoke out against the Trump administration's federal cuts. And as Sean mentioned, they also shared their concerns about this weekend's military parade in Washington.
This is costing us millions. This is making us less safe because it's taking active duty military personnel and machinery and bringing it into D.C.
You'll find our complete coverage of the president's visit and his entire speech with reaction on WRAL.com. The story will be on our home.